and we're back with a new reaction video. And today we are going to be reacting to cartoon episodes that were banned for the most insane reasons. And this video is by our the usual channel that we react to, Be Amazed. Go check out his channel. You know, he has awesome videos. He has amazing videos. Check out his channel. Subscribe, like, comment, subscribe, all that stuff. And like, comment, subscribe on this video, and press the bell notification. Anyways, yeah. I don't know. I love cartoons. That's why I chose this video, because I love cartoons. I stopped watching cartoons once I turned 18, but I've watched cartoons since I was like 18 years old. Yeah, it's a little bit of embarrassing to admit. Not really. Yeah, I watched cartoons until I was like 18, and the only reason I stopped is because the only reason I stopped is when I discovered YouTube. You know, going on the internet and playing on YouTube, and I got obsessed with the internet. So that's what got me to stop watching cartoons. But I still loved it. I still love cartoons, and I don't know if I ever watched any banned episodes. I don't know. This would be interesting. I think I remember watching one episode of a show that I used to watch, of a cartoon show that I used to watch that got banned on YouTube years ago. I think I remember. I think it was like I think it was Dexter's Laboratory. It was like a banned episode of Dexter's Lab. That's what I know. That's one that I know. That's one that I know. A banned episode of Dexter's Laboratory where they say cuss words. That's the one that I know. I remember watching that like years ago when I was like, I think in middle school or something, or in high school. So probably like around like 16, I think. Anyways, let's begin this video. Let's start this video. This is by Be Amazed. Let's begin.
Is there any better way to start a Saturday morning than with cartoons? But there are some episodes you aren't going to see on Nickelodeon or anywhere else. Yep, today we're taking a look at kids' TV episodes that proved too controversial for the small screen. From celebrity appearances that aged like milk, to adult content that should never have got past the censors, here are the craziest cartoon episodes that were banned.
See? And check out Be Amazed.
Porygon. In 1997, Pokemania was in full swing in Japan. While the rest of the world wouldn't get their first exposure to the anime TV series until the following year,
it's crazy how popular Pokemon was.
It seemed the Pocket Monsters could do no wrong back home. That is, until the fateful day that the episode Electric Soldier Porygon aired. The episode itself was wholly uncontroversial. Ash and the gang find themselves battling the villainous Team Rocket inside cyberspace with the help of the artificial Pokemon Porygon. But then something happens which caused chaos across Japanese households. Near the end of the episode, some cyber missiles are launched at our heroes, which Pikachu heroically destroys using a Thunderbolt attack. Only when the missiles are destroyed, rapidly flashing blue and red lights appear to mark the event. In certain people, flashing strobe lights of a certain frequency can cause an excessive response from the brain, triggering epileptic seizures. And because of the frame rate of the TV show, the lights were at the perfect frequency for this. Yes, this Pokemon episode wound up causing the hospitalization of over 600 kids. Many suffered full-blown seizures, while others reported seizure symptoms, such as blindness, nausea, and convulsions. And that's without mentioning the thousands of others with symptoms who didn't go to the hospital. Yeesh. The episode was never aired again, and never dubbed into English. This was obviously a stain on the brand, so the Pokemon Company needed to do something about it. Did they punish Pikachu for his actions? Pfft, not likely. Instead, it was poor old Porygon that got the shaft. The creature and its evolutions were never given a featured role in the series ever again.
That's messed up.
Over 1,000 episodes later, and Porygon is relegated to nothing more than occasional background appearances, all to cover up the crimes of the Golden Child. Porygon...
Right, it was not even Porygon's fault. It was Pikachu. It was not even Porygon's fault. Wow. Justice for Porygon.
Did nothing wrong, and I, for one, am tired of pretending he did.
That's messed up.
Dexter's
This
Dirty
was the episode
Language.
I watched. Yeah.
If you grew up in the 90s, I'm sure you're aware of how popular Cartoon Network's Dexter's Laboratory was.
This was one
The
of my
show
favorite
follows
shows.
boy genius
Love
Dexter
this show.
as he gets up to a whole load of science-y hijinks alongside his annoying sister Dee Dee. But one particular adventure of theirs was deemed far too shocking for TV. I'm talking about the infamous Rude Removal.
Crazy.
In this episode,
It's crazy. It's crazy how like the writers of Dexter's Laboratory decided to do this. I guess they were just I guess they were having fun, or they were on something. I don't know. They were in the mood to do it.
Dexter invents the Rude Removal system, which splits him and his sister into two versions, one polite pair and one very impolite pair.
Damn.
The nasty doppelgangers are crude, aggressive, and foul-mouthed.
Let up, Ollie.
Damn.
The crass clones go on to smash up Dexter's lab,
Jeez.
berate his mom, and even insult her cooking.
Damn, that's messed up, man.
What do you think, Dexter? I think it tastes like.
Wow. That's
Jeez,
messed up.
that's a little much, huh? Well,
Yeah.
but that implied language is something else, and that's exactly why the story got pulled from air. Cartoon Network thought that all the cursing was just too much. I mean, sure, it's definitely shocking, but it is censored, so personally I don't see the issue. Heck,
guess so, yeah.
SpongeBob did a similar episode a few years later.
Oh, and I think the Rude Removal episode of Dexter's Laboratory, they aired that episode on Adult Swim one time. I remember reading about that.
And it aired fine,
Yeah.
although with some controversy.
Hi, Squidward. How the are ya?
Oh, come on, that's funny. This episode was funny.
But
Come
back
on
to
now.
Dexter. If anything, the most shocking part of Rude Removal is the title card, which shows Dexter mooning the camera and Dee Dee flipping at the
Crazy.
bird. But what do you think? Was Rude Removal worthy of being removed? Are censored swears
I think
still
so.
inappropriate for kids? Let me know down in the comments.
I feel like it was definitely out of character. I think that's why it feels like off, because it was definitely out of character. Like the censoring in SpongeBob in that episode, that made sense. SpongeBob and Patrick were like little kids learning all the curse words, you know, and not knowing what not to say, and just saying it all the time, you know. So I don't know why people were complaining about that SpongeBob episode. Like, come on now, that was funny. But Dexter's one, the Dexter episode, I could see it, yeah, because it's like, I mean, technically it's their doppelganger, but it feels off from the episode. I don't know. I still love Dexter's Laboratory.
Eight-legged
But
freak. I don't like spiders.
Don't
There's
tell
no
me
way
they banned the
something should
show,
have that many
the episode
legs.
because of a spider.
But a lot of the time, spiders are nothing to fear. Something British children's cartoon Peppa Pig tried to convey in an episode from 2004 entitled Mr. Skinny Legs, only it backfired. Hard.
That title sounds scary. Mr. Skinny Legs. That title sounds scary. That sounds like the title of a horror movie.
In the episode, Peppa befriends a spider. See, UK spiders are highly unlikely to bite. Even if they did, there aren't any deadly species in the country. But that's certainly not the case somewhere else the episode was aired. Australia. See where I'm going with this? Encouraging Australian kids to play with the many highly venomous and sometimes deadly spiders in the country is reckless and irresponsible. What's more, the episode even has Peppa playing with her arachnid friend and tucking it into bed. Just imagine a little rugrat watching this episode, then running outside, stumbling on a Sydney funnel web, one of the deadliest in the world. Sure enough, after receiving complaints from angry parents, the episode was
See that,
pulled
I
off
guess.
air and axed online. Makes sense. The last thing you want to do is encourage kids to get in danger. But I'm going to encourage some fantastic behavior and tell you to like and subscribe. That way, you'll never miss out on more awesome videos like this one. All done? Nice. Let's get back to more banned episodes. Banned in China. South Park is no stranger to
I'm
controversy.
surprised.
Its crude and often offensive humor spares
Like, really? South Park? I feel like all episodes would be banned.
nobody. Naturally,
All
this has
episodes would
led
be
to the
banned.
show getting a ton of flack, perhaps most notably from the Chinese government.
By the way, I love South Park. I remember watching it as a kid. I think it aired on Adult Swim or somewhere. No, it aired on Comedy Central. I remember my friend introduced me to Comedy Central, like we were watching TV, and he just put on South Park, and I was already in love with South Park, man. I remember like watching South Park, Robot Chicken on Adult Swim. I remember watching all those, and it was awesome. I loved it. It was not no inappropriate. I turned out fine, okay, but you shouldn't be showing this, to your kid. Let's just continue.
That's right. The episode Banned in China aired in 2019 and took aim at the country's penchant for censorship. In it, one of the main characters, Randy Marsh, is arrested and subjected to communist re-education alongside Winnie the Pooh.
Oh, damn.
What? See,
Why Winnie?
hilariously, Winnie is censored across Chinese social media after jokes were made comparing the friendly bear to the country's president, Xi Jinping.
I mean, that's a sweet comparison. Like, Winnie the Pooh is sweet, man. Like, I mean, I would rather be compared to, like, Winnie the Pooh than, Jabba the Hutt or something like that. Like, Winnie the Pooh is sweet and cute, Okay.
Ping, as you can gather, is a sensitive man. And this
yeah, I'm sure he is. Like, that's a bit of an overreaction. Like, banning Winnie the Pooh because someone said you look like Winnie the Pooh. Come on now. That's a bit of an
episode
overreaction.
shines a light on the awful way China treats its citizens, makes fun of its censorship laws, and heavily features a banned character in it. So, is it any surprise that it was banned in China? No, it's not. But things went even further. The episode was ultimately responsible for South Park being entirely scrubbed from the country.
Wow.
Seriously, online, every mention of the series was removed. Episodes were taken down, forums were closed, and social media posts were hidden. Such a draconian response is par for the course in
Damn.
China's heavily controlled society, though.
Yeah.
So frankly, it's surprising South Park survived there as long as it did.
Like, damn. I mean, that's a bit of an overreaction. Yeah, that's definitely a bit of an overreaction. It's like,
Bad. The Simpsons is the longest-running animated series of all time, and as such, has been no stranger to controversy. But one episode of the hit sitcom was entirely unproblematic the day it aired in 1991, only to be banned outright later, in 2019. The episode is called Stark Raving Dad. So, what's the sitch? Well, in it, Homer gets sent to a mental institution where he meets Leon Kompowski, a man who believes he's the king of pop, Michael Jackson. Hilarity ensues, and to make the scene funnier, Leon was actually voiced by Jackson. Surprise.
Really?
I'm
Wow.
a very popular entertainer.
Well, of course.
really? I didn't know that. Then what's the problem? I'm thinking like, oh, they didn't like how they made fun of Michael Jackson being in an asylum, so Michael Jackson said his people to remove that or some stuff like that. But no, Michael Jackson voiced the character.
I've heard of
So
you.
what's the problem?
I mean, you'd have to be living under a rock not to know. What'd you say your name was?
Michael Jackson.
Doesn't ring a bell.
Well, have you heard of MTV?
Nope.
Motown.
No.
Beat It.
You beat it.
The episode was actually one of the more popular ones, but in 2019, everything changed. The documentary Leaving Neverland was released, which took a supremely critical view of MJ and reignited some nasty allegations. If you know, you know. After watching the doc, the brains behind The Simpsons opted to completely remove Stark Raving Dad from circulation. It was omitted from Disney Plus, axed from all the box sets going
Really?
forward, and pulled from rerun schedules indefinitely. This seems like a cut-and-dry business decision to avoid association with controversy, but there may well have been something more to it. After finishing the documentary,
it's something
Simpsons showrunner Al Jean came to the belief that Jackson used his appearance on the show as a tool to groom victims. There's no outright proof of this, but
Really?
Gene's steadfast belief meant he stands by the decision to erase the episode from existence, a decision which proved almost as controversial as the original Jacko controversy. The beloved episode's banishment was bemoaned by fans, with some viewing it as totally unnecessary. Others expressed the importance of preserving media as a form of history, rather than erasing it. Then again, if Gene was onto something, then maybe it was the right choice to jettison Jackson's episode. It's all so complicated. If we were discussing whether we should ban any modern Simpsons episodes, I'm sure we'd all be in agreement.
Husky liners are tough enough to be guaranteed for life.
I don't know.
Tough enough to
I
handle
guess,
any
yeah.
job.
Michael Jackson does have allegations. Again, I don't know nothing about that, so I'm not going to speak about that.
All
but
of them.
like, interesting. Interesting. Yeah.
Teenage Mutant Ninja Trauma. Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles is awesome. Its kick-butt action and dynamite storytelling have improved many a childhood.
I love Teenage
Although
Mutant
it
Ninja
nearly
Turtles. I love
ruined a
the-
fair few too.
I love the 2003 Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. I know that's the. Nothing. The 2003 Ninja Turtles show was my favorite. Was my favorite.
Too.
So,
See, the 2003 version
Yep,
of the
this one's my
show
favorite.
featured an episode called Insane in the Membrane. The episode follows an injured villain named Stockman, who clones himself a new body to inhabit. Only things go horribly wrong when it begins to rapidly
Ugh.
decay, both physically and mentally. What follows is a horror movie-esque nightmare where the rotting
gosh.
madman rampages around the city, attempting to
Oh.
destroy the turtle's ally, April O'Neil, all while hallucinating his dearly departed mother.
You were such
Oh,
a
damn.
good boy. You had so much potential. What happened to you, baby doll?
That's not just terrifying,
Damn,
but
that's
also
sad.
pretty heartbreaking. When the staff at
really.
Fox Broadcast Standards and Practices looked at the finished episode, they were apparently horrified at what they saw.
I
The gruesome
could see that being like a little traumatic to a kid. Like, damn, even hearing the story, him just decaying, and then like him hearing his dead mother like saying, "Oh, you were such a good kid. What happened to you?" Like, yeah, I could see that. Be
subject
traumatizing.
matter and scary visuals led them to lock the
Ooh.
episode away from children's eyes. I gotta say, I might agree with them on this one. Kids are impressionable, and seeing some of the disturbing stuff on display here could easily cause some sleepless nights. That said, the episode was released in the UK and appeared on the US DVD release too. It wouldn't be aired on American TV until 2015 though. There's no word on what exactly caused Fox to change their minds or how many kids were upset after watching it, but it would have taken me a long time to recover. Beer babies. If you're a living
Yeah.
fossil, you might remember the
seen this
public
before.
service announcements from the 1980s kids cartoons. For everyone else, they were short sections aired after an episode to heavy-handedly explain the morals of the story.
We'll tell her we did it,
Remember, it's better to tell the truth,
and that's no lie. Now we know.
and knowing is half the battle.
Cool. By the 90s, they'd largely gone out of style, with one infamous exception. 1991's Tiny Toons Adventures episode Elephant Issue.
Yeah, I was gonna say I remember. Like, man, I was not. But I've heard of like a lot of cartoons back then, like in the 80s, used to have these like almost infomercial like type of episodes about serious stuff, which I feel like I don't know if they work. I feel like they would be either traumatic for a kid, or they would like to try it out because they see Bugs Bunny drinking beer, you know? I don't know. Yeah, back then, apparently, man.
Rather than a normal episode with a PSA at the end,
Yeah.
the WB network decided to make the whole episode the PSA, to disastrous effect. Elephant Issues is composed of 3 segments, with one in particular, One Beer, really catching the ire of the censors. Can you guess why? That's right, One Beer is all about booze.
You mean that's beer?
Wow, I think you can see where this is going. The idea was, by showing everyone's beloved childhood characters getting absolutely off
would
their
not be a good
faces,
idea.
it would demonstrate the
No.
evils of alcohol to kids.
No.
So after arguing who should drink first, it's finally settled on Buster.
All right. Bottoms up.
I know there are men out there like you who feel you were born in the wrong era, who feel you're
Gosh darn it.
Given that the characters in the show are all kids themselves, you can clearly see the issue here.
Yeah.
Anyway, after they all down the brew, this happens.
Gosh.
That's not a very
Yeah,
good
wasted.
sign.
Oh, God.
Yep, they
Wow.
drunkenly steal a police car, drive it off a cliff, and put it
Yeah.
this way,
Wow.
aren't seen driving it back.
Damn.
What? The shocking and upsetting content of the segment caused the whole episode to be removed from syndication in the US, and it's since gone down as one of the most well-known banned cartoons ever. Or at least that's what people say. Turns out, this is a job for Buzzkill Man. I'm sorry, but this story is nowhere near as dramatic as people believe, because guess what? The episode was never actually banned at all. What?
Really?
YouTuber Paparina did some serious sleuthing and not only uncovered a commercial for the episode, but also several TV guide listings up until 1997, a full 6 years after its first broadcast. So what gives? Well, the evidence says it all. We can't be sure when or why. But someone made the whole drama up, and it spread
Really?
online like
Wow.
wildfire. Well, that's disappointing. Thanks a lot, Buzzkill Man. Regardless, I think this episode did do its job.
I mean, damn, this episode is still messed up, though.
After watching it, I'm going teetotal. Totally inappropriate. Rocco's Modern Life is one of Nickelodeon's all-time greats. One of the reasons for its massive popularity is its penchant for adult humor, something that would get its creators in serious trouble back in 1993. Enter Leapfrogs, an episode
Yeah,
where
back in
main
the
character
90s, back in the 90s, yeah, they would put so many innuendos in cartoons. Even in the 2000s, I think they would put innuendos in cartoons, man. Because honestly, back then, back then they could get away with it a little bit if they hide it good, or if they do it subtly. If they do it subtly, they could get away with it.
Australian wallaby Rocco is seduced by his married neighbor.
Yoo-hoo, Rocco. Could you come upstairs for a moment, please, dear? Would you zip me up, darling?
Isn't that a story from a website?
Okay. Essentially, his neighbor, the toad Bev Bighead, feels neglected by her husband, and so sets her
Oh,
eyes on
gosh.
Rocco. What follows is a series of incredibly awkward sequences where she makes Rocco and us super uncomfortable.
Oh boy, documentary. Yes, why don't you join me?
Oh,
No. So straight away, this is some pretty edgy content for children.
yeah.
So much so that parents
That's
went
the 90s for you.
ballistic after catching their kids watching it. In fact, the episode drew so many complaints that Nick pulled it from air entirely. Given the premise, I kinda understand the parents' objections. Heck, maybe it did deserve the axe. I don't know how much of the adult stuff kids would understand though, so I'm not sure I agree. What do you think? Did this episode need to be banned, or were people too sensitive? Let me know down in the comments. Poke poaching.
I don't know. I feel like, yeah, true. Kids wouldn't get it. The kids would not get it. I mean, no, the zipper, no, that the the frog lady, I forgot her name already, the frog lady asking Rocco to zip up her dress and it shows like her bare back. That one is easy to get. I'm sorry, that one is kind of easy to get. A little bit.
Once more, we venture into the world of Pokemon. Once more, we're in for something decidedly less kid-friendly than parents expected. 1997's The Legend of Dratini follows Ash and pals as they enter the Safari Zone, a massive Pokemon preserve. What follows sounds like standard Pokemon fare. The gang catch a bunch of monsters, face off against the dastardly Team Rocket, and ultimately save the titular Dratini from their clutches. But wait, what's so egregious about that? Well, this episode has guns in it.
Oh,
a lot of guns. Now,
oh, damn. Oh, shit.
Guns do feature...
Oh, look at that. Team Rocket's they had enough. Team Rocket's had enough of Ash making them look like a fool. Making them look like fools. They had enough. They had enough. They ain't gonna use their Pokemon anymore. They're gonna use the strap. They're gonna use the strap this time. They've had enough. They've had enough of this shit. I'm gonna... It's kind of funny, Loki. Like, it's a show that they always... It's a cartoon show that they usually always just use, you know, Pokemon, like, two animals fighting, you know, which is still messed up in a way. But then just ran in a random episode, especially when Team Rocket uses it, in a random episode, they decide, you know what? Screw the animals. Screw the Pokemon monster, whatever. Let's use some guns. Let's get real personal up in here. Let's get
for
some
another
real
Pokemon episodes,
personal.
but
Jeez.
fleetingly, or in a very over-the-top.
Got enough of this shit. I had enough of this shit.
Fashion. But
Don't
in
give
this
me your damn
episode, characters are
like, you're gonna give me your damn Pikachu, Ash.
threatened at gunpoint
Oh my
on
God.
7 different occasions. Too many for them to all be censored in a global release. Heck, at one point, Ash even gets a revolver pointed directly in his face. That's right. Perhaps unsurprisingly, The Legend of Dratini never got an English dub and was never released outside of Japan. However, this created a pretty big plot hole for global viewers. See, Ash captures 30 Tauros in the Safari Zone, so when he visits them all in a later episode, it left a lot of kids confused about where the heck they'd come from. What's more, the unaired episode was the anime debut of Dratini, and because of its removal, people outside of Japan wouldn't get to see the creature in the show for another 200-plus episodes. Fortunately, no one aims an AR-15 at anyone when Dratini does show back up. Nice. Creepy crap.
From Pokemon to, you know what? Let me just... that's a unique way to, like, you know, tell Ash and people to give you their Pokemon. Just put them in gunpoint. I'm stumbling my words because it's just ridiculous. That's funny to me. They just had enough. They just had enough.
Some cartoon episodes were perfectly fine when they were released, only to be hit with a ban decades later. Enter the 2002 SpongeBob SquarePants episode, Midlife Crustacean. In it, Mr. Krabs feels his age and is desperate to recapture his youth. So he tags along with SpongeBob and Patrick on their big night out. It turns out to be a disappointing affair, though, until he hears about the last activity they have planned.
I guess you're gonna miss the panty raid. The what?
Jeez.
You're talking about
even
girls,
the name,
right?
bro. Oh my God.
Girls? Yeah. And you're talking about raiding their dressers for their underpants, right?
Krabs, you an old man, bro. Krabs, you an old man. Come on now.
Oh, yeah.
Jeez.
Wow.
Patrick,
so sure
you a freak
enough,
too. Patrick, you a freak.
they
Oh, weird
sneak
freak,
into
huh?
a girl's house to steal her underwear, only to discover that the girl is Mr. Krabs' mom. Just when you thought it couldn't get any weirder, for decades the episode aired in the US until 2021, when Nickelodeon announced they'd made the decision to pull it from broadcast, as well as streaming services in the
No,
country.
this one
The
I
network
understand.
cited storyline concerns as the reason, but never elaborated. But come on,
No, I
we all
understand.
know what the
Yeah.
issue was.
YouTube Premium is ad-free YouTube and the YouTube Music app all together.
Why the heck do SpongeBob and Patrick want to steal girls'
Exactly.
underwear?
That's weird,
It's totally out
man.
of character for these two goofy goobers to even consider
Yeah.
something like that. So
And Krabs is an old ass man. Like, come on, man. Why are you doing this? Go back to work. You own your own business. Why are you doing this? Yeah, I understand. This was weird.
can understand Nick's thought process in ultimately choosing to can it. Having said that, the show's had way more adult jokes in different episodes.
Definitely. Yeah. The eyes says it all. SpongeBob's eyes says it all. Like, his eyes say it all.
Yep, that went straight over Little Amazed's head the first time I watched it. Regardless of what I think, midlife crustacean is still banned in the US today. Does this whole episode really deserve a ban? Or is the controversy just a load of
I personally think, yeah, it should be banned.
New York, New York? We're heading back to the town of Springfield now, but not for long, because our favorite cartoon family are off to New York. In the 1997 episode, The City of New York versus Homer Simpson, the family must travel to the Big Apple to retrieve the family car. But after the 9/11 attacks on the World Trade Center, the episode was pulled from air. See, the car is abandoned outside the Twin Towers, so a huge portion of the runtime takes place there. After the tragedy, the decision was made to take it from syndication, for obvious reasons.
Yeah.
The ban was eventually lifted in 2006, although reruns would still occasionally have some content removed. Notably, a joke in the episode that, quote, they stick all the jerks in Tower 1 has been sporadically cut in certain regions. Yeah, I'm not surprised.
Wow.
Bans and edits like this one were commonplace in the years following the devastating attacks.
Yeah.
Oh, one more thing about the
Understandable.
episode. It's commonly cited as predicting the attacks themselves, with this travel ad that appears to read 9/11. It didn't. $9 was chosen as the price because it was ridiculously cheap, and the Twin Towers were simply shown to advertise the city's landmarks. There, enjoy a little bonus from
Buzzkill Man.
Terror Tubbies.
Oh.
Okay, so these next two aren't technically
heck was that?
cartoons, but they're so wild I had to include them. The BBC Kids show Teletubbies is
Oh,
a
yeah, I love
surreal
Teletubbies.
jaunt through a psychedelic world
remember
with the
watching this a
titular
lot as a kid.
Tubbies. Episodes featured so-called magical events. But in 1997's Seesaw, the magical event proved so terrifying it led to the
Oh,
episode's
nah.
ban.
It's the eyes. The eyes. I could see
Enter
why this
the
got banned.
lion and
I could see why this got banned. The eyes. Look at the eyes.
the bear. The episode starts as normal, then suddenly this happens.
I'm the bear. I'm the bear. And I'm coming.
And things only get more unsettling. Ugh, the thing is utterly freaky for reasons I'm not entirely sure of, but what it was hiding from gives me the heebie-jeebies even more.
The lion is scary.
I'm the scary lion with big, scary teeth.
It's even more uncanny than the bear. Then
Yeah.
the lion gives chase. It just feels wrong. And that's probably the best way to describe the entire sequence. The stressful music, the uncanny wooden cutouts, they just don't belong in Teletubbies. Parents complained ad nauseum until the BBC pulled the episode, but the damage was already done. I know I had recurring nightmares of these SCP-looking terrors anyway. And then, a few years later, an edited version of this sequence was aired on TV. This version had altered vocal performance, cut shots, and added artificial sound effects like squeaking wheels to tone down the uncanniness.
Where's the bear?
He still has the eyes, though. The eyes are the creepiest part. Like, what? He still has the eyes.
Where's the bear?
It's, a bit better, but I still never want to see one of those two knuckleheads ever again. If I just triggered your PTSD, let me know down in the comments. We can comfort each other. Newtmares.
Oh gosh, look at that.
As spine-chilling as the wooden terrors from the Teletubbies are, there's another kids show that gave me even worse nightmares. Pingu. Yes, the show about the little penguin. In the 1991 episode Pingu's Dream, we follow Pingu on a trip to Snoozeville. His dream starts off innocently enough with him riding his bed around a barren landscape. He's having a great time, and so are we, until, well...
Jeez. He just popped up. He just popped up out of nowhere, man. I thought it was going to go slow. I thought it was going to go up slow. Now he just popped up. Almost scared me. Look at that. Oh, no. No. Ugh, I laugh.
This thing is supposed to be a walrus, only it's huge, has no tusks, and sports an unnerving set of human teeth. It torments Pingu and laughs maniacally at his suffering.
His eyes roll back when he laughs.
Do I even need to tell you the problem with this episode?
Yeah.
The walrus was deemed far too chilling for kids' TV, and the ep was banned in several countries,
That's surprised.
including the UK. Good frickin' riddance. But if you thought that was the only controversial part of Pingu, oh boy, you've seen nothing yet. There's actually
gosh.
a whole slew of banned or censored episodes from the show. Probably the most outrageous is Little Accidents, a 1990 story about Pingu and friends going to the bathroom. Yeah, it's as weird as it sounds. Essentially, after Pingu drinks way too much, he desperately needs to pee, but shock horror, he can't reach the toilet. With no other option, our penguin pal does the unthinkable.
He actually showed the pee.
Jeez, from the
Damn.
color of that, Pingu still needs to drink more water. The focus on all that urine caused the episode to be banned in a heap
Yeah, why they focus on the urine so much? What the heck?
of countries, including the USA. But if you ask me, the craziest thing is someone's actual job was to create and animate Pingu doing a massive leak out of clay. For shame. And on that particularly smelly note, I've had just about enough of these banned cartoons. Had you ever...
Alright. That was a good video. That was a good video. Yeah, it's crazy. And yeah, there are definitely... Obviously, these are not the only ones. There are plenty of more controversial episodes of cartoon shows that were banned and stuff. But yeah, I never watched a cartoon episode where an episode was banned, or the episode was banned. I never watched one. Well, the SpongeBob one of raiding the underwear, the SpongeBob one, and the Dexter's Laboratory one, like rude removal on the computer. I've seen that one. Only those two. I don't know. Anyways, I hope you guys enjoyed. Thank you for watching. It is cold. That's why I have this sweater on. It is cold. It is really breezy. Anyways, I hope you guys enjoyed. Thank you for watching. Like, comment, subscribe. Turn on the little bell notification. Press the little bell notification. And go check out Be Amazed. Subscribe to him. Check out his channel. He has cool videos, like I said in the beginning. Anyways, I'll see you guys